top manual testing interview question. Around 15 to 16 question are there, so I will cover up in this video with answer. So I will explain in detailed manner. So gone through that video was till the end, and like and subscribe, share this video with your friend. So we will discuss about the first question. What is the difference between verification and validation? Verification is something you are verify. Validation something you have document to validate that. So verifying something without like giving the data and validate gone through that document, that's comes under verification. So ensure that product is being built correctly according to requirement and design specification. Focus on static testing, review, walkthrough, inspection. So you will go through the review of that document, test cases, test plan, and test scenario are there. So you gone through that test steps, test cases are there. So without validating that with the test case, gone through that test case only, so that comes under verification. Focus on static testing. Example, reviewing requirement document, design document or code. So in automation some code are there, some script are there. So without validating you are going through that script, so that's considered verification. And validation, after that you are giving the valid data or validate that things with the document or with the test cases, so that comes under validation. Ensure that that product meet the user needs and work as intended in a real world scenario. Focus on dynamic testing, actual testing of the application. Example, executing test case. So verifying test case, verification. Executing test case, validation. Perform functional testing and check if the software behave as expected. So you are giving data, test data you have, test case you have. So giving that and validate that that is actual behave as expected on. So that comes under validation. Key difference, verification is about build the product right, validation is about while the validation is about building the right product. So that is the difference between verification and validation. Second question, what are the difference level of testing? So there are four level of testing. First one is unit testing, second one is integration testing, third one is system testing, and fourth one is acceptance testing. Unit testing focuses on testing individual component or module of the application. Unit testing performed by developer. Integration testing verify that integration between integrated module or component, sub-module or sub-component are there. So that is validate or not, that is working or not. Example, testing API or communication between module, sub-module. System testing, that is end-to-end testing, test the entire application as whole to ensure it meet the specified requirement, performed by tester. So end-to-end testing, what is that? So if you are going with Amazon, that is e-commerce application, so log in with the valid username, valid password. So you should able to see the dashboard page, Amazon home page. Go with the search bar, search something, shoes, jeans, shirt, anything, search what you want and add to cart. Maximum you can add, the limitation are there. Minimum you should add one and add to cart. After that make payment. So go with the address. So billing address are there, you should fill address, mobile number and email ID, everything are there. Billing address are there. So after that you should make payment. The gateway are there, different gateway are there. So you can select gateway like UPI payment method, card payment method are there, cash on delivery are there. So something, so you can select anyone. Payment done. Then after go with the logout page and log out. So what you are doing here, log in, purchase something, search something, purchase something, you are able to search, you are able to find out that product, add to cart, make payment, choose payment method, done, log out. So that's comes under end to end, starting, login, ending, log out. So end to end testing, that is system testing. So under that system testing, having UI usability testing are there. So acceptance testing, what is acceptance testing? Ensure that application meet business requirement and ready for development, performed by end user or client. So performed by UAT tester, user acceptance tester are there. So if you like test something, so UAT tester will do for some time or some duration of time, they will test in real transaction. Sometime UAT tester hire the service based company or sometime client they will hire. So they are working for end user perspective and they are doing real transaction of that application performed by end user or client. So they are performed like within a certain duration of time. So there are time limitation, like some feature they will launch, so they will like do real transaction and check that application like for 48 hour, for like 5 days, for 7 days. So they will work on it. What is difference between smoke and sanity testing? I already explained in different video. I will like add that video link in description. You can go on through that videos. I already explained in deeply what is difference between smoke and sanity. You should go on through that video and understand that what is a smoke testing in deeply. Here I will tell like perform to ensure that the basic functionality of that application are working after a build. Example, verify that application launches and main feature are accessible or not. So if you are going with the smoke testing, like developer will also smoke testing and tester will also do a smoke testing. Any will come from the developer. At first we do a smoke testing, like giving valid URL, or like giving hitting the URL, so it should be shown dashboard, homepage, login page are there, so it should be shown that functionality. So that's concerned as smoke testing. Sanity, perform to ensure that application functional, bugs fixes and working as expected. Smoke either stable or non-stable, unstable, but sanity always stable, and we are tested stable build. And sanity will tester will do only sanity testing, narrow but deep testing. Example, retesting a login feature after a bug fixes to ensure it is work correctly. Key differences: smoke testing is a high level check of the overall system, focus on a specific area and functionality. How do you prioritize test case when time is limit? So we will prioritize a test case behalf of 5 types. Identify critical area, risk-based testing, business impact, frequently used scenario, and regression testing. So identify critical areas, focus on functionalities that are critical to application, such as login, payment, or data integrity. Risk-based testing, prioritize tests in areas prone and defect, those that having undergone recent changes. This impact, execute test case that cover feature with the highest business value or end user impact. Frequent use scenario, test feature or workflow that are used frequently by user. Regression, ensure that previously worked feature are not broken by recent changes. So what is difference between priority and severity in defect management? So if you are going for log bugs, so the defect management having severity and priority. So you should mark priority and severity. Severity refers to impact the defect on the functionality of system assigned by tester. Level, critical, major, minor, medium. A critical defect causes the system crash while it might be a UI misaligned. Priority refers to urgency of fixing that defect, like if you are marking as severity S1, so like minor, major, critical. Critical is something like if you are hitting URL page, white page, so that comes under critical. So priority should be P1. So you are giving priority to how soon that developer will fix that bug, so that comes under priority. Assigned by developer on project manager, level, high, level, medium, high, medium, low. Example, a defect of home page might have high priority even it's minor. Key differences: severity is about technical impact, while priority is about business impact and urgency. What is the purpose of traceability metrics? Traceability metrics stand for RTM, requirement traceability metrics. So for every requirement, at least one test case should be written. So a traceability metrics is a document that maps test cases to requirement to ensure 100% test coverage. Purpose: to verify all the requirements are covered by tester and identify gaps in testing, trace defect to a specific requirement. So we will cover up in RTM for every requirement, like requirement login page is a one requirement, logout page is a one requirement, some module are there is a one requirement functionality. For every functionality, every requirement, at least one test case should be written. So we will cover it here in RTM. That is time consuming. Disadvantage is that an example for like template. What is the template for RTM? So here the template: RTM, requirement ID, requirement description, test case ID, test case description, status, or if any comment, remarks. So requirement ID, requirement start for R. So we will mark as R1. We will retain here R1. Requirement description, user login functionality. So login functionality is a one feature. So test case ID, TC, nothing but test case and one. So test case description about the scenario, just login with a valid credential. So yeah, status mark as that test case is pass. So mark as pass. So we will cover it in here. the feature, we are covering that feature with some test cases. So we will go on through that. That will be helpful for like everyone. That is the cover area. We have the specific requirement for that one. We have a test case for that requirement. So that is the cover up in RTM. What is exploitative testing and when would you use it? Exploitative testing, a testing approach is when tester actively explore the application without predefined test cases are there. So if you didn't have test case, if you didn't have any time limitation, time bounding, so you gone through that application, or if application is incomplete or the requirement is not clear, so you gone through that application, explore that application, understand the application, and come up with the scenario, and you will find some bug. When you will find some bug, you can mark that bug exploitative, and there is a no direct test cases are there in exploitative. So discover hidden defect, validate usability and design issues, test area not covered by scripted tests. So if you are working 1 year, 2 year in same project, so you have knowledge about that project. So you can easily find out edge scenario or exploitative. Many bugs are there, so you can found in exploitative many bugs. So if you are going with the new application, you should explore that application for understanding purpose. When requirements are incomplete or unclear, during early stage of testing to identify major flow for testing complex workflows or edge cases. How do you ensure a defect report is effective? So clear title should be written. Use a descriptive and title summarize the defect in a one-liner. So crispy and clear that one-liner. Detail step about reproduce. How to reproduce? Like go with the navigate to this, navigate to that, and like this is the issue, expected, actual. It should be login, but it is not able to log in. So that is expected, actual, attachment, some screenshot, some video recordings. So you can attach for evidence. Severity, priority, so you should mark as login page. Priority, severity should be high. Environment, like if you found some issue in mobile application having 14 version, or Android application having 14 version, iOS application having 18 version, so you mark as OS detail and device detail. So you should mark with the build detail also in that. So question, how would you test login page? Test a login page involves a combination of functionality, security, UI testing. Key test case includes functional testing, valid credential, verify login with correct user and password. Invalid credential, check error message are for wrong username and wrong password. So if you are going with the some application and giving invalid data, so it should be showing one pop-up, yeah, one red mark pop-up. It's showing yeah, you are giving invalid data, please give valid data, give valid data, that is not a valid credential, something like that. So blank field, ensure that validate message appears when field are left empty. So if you are like didn't give anything, like if you didn't give the username and password field, that is blank, and tap on login, so it's showing blank. Yeah, you should enter the data, valid data. So it's showing pop-up. Boundary value analysis, test username and password with maximum minimum character limits are there. So boundary value, it should be limitation about like 1 to 8 character, password should be 1 to 8. So like a minus 1 or a plus 1, b minus 1, b plus 1. So here 0 is invalid, minus 1 is invalid, 1 is valid, 8 is valid, 7 is valid, 9 is invalid. So you should check negative case testing also, negative testing, invalid username, invalid details, that is negative testing. Then security testing, verify password, encrypted and secure data transfer, HTTPS, ensure that application prevent and force attack a locking account after multiple failed attempts. So some application having, if you like going with the banking application, giving 3 time invalid data, so it should be showing yeah multiple attempt. You are like they will logged for 2 hour, 4 hour, 24 hour. Usability testing, validate field, align placeholder text and of the navigation. Cross browser testing, verify that login functionality of different browser and device. So you can verify in different browser, different hardware, like the login page is working in Android 14 and some device having like some UI. So you can go through that web pages and you can go through that iOS application, iOS browser. So check in Safari, check in Chrome, check in Firefox, Mozilla, different browser, different software, different versions, different device having different screen size, tab, mobile, MacBook, so you can check it. So is it working fine or not? How do you ensure complete test coverage? So complete coverage, we will ensure understand requirement document, thoroughly the analyze requirement and create traceability metrics or map on the test cases, categorize test scenario, cover all functionality, non-functional edge cases and integration point, include positive and negative test normal workflow as well as scenario with invalid or unexpected input. User equivalence part class partitioning and boundary value analysis, divide test input into valid or invalid user. So I already explained equivalence class partitioning and boundary value analysis in different video. You can go on through that video. I will attach in description for that link, so you can go on through that videos. Perform exploratory testing, execute unscripted tests and identify gap in predefined test cases, review by peer. So if you write something, if you write test cases, so you cover it all the scenario, all the you written test case, 7 steps are there. So in peer review we will discuss with colleague, yeah, any suggestion for that test case, like it should be like 8 or 9, so more cover area, more test steps are there, so we will review in peer review meeting. What is regression testing and how do you decide what is included in detail, why regression testing needed, why we will do regression testing, what is regression testing, why we covered regression testing. So I will explain here also, but you can go through that video, so you will easily like understand why we are doing regression testing. Ensure that the recent changes of fixes do not break the existing functionality. So if you found some issue, that issue is dependent in sub area, so you found that issue, you log that issue with developer fix that issue, but developer add some functionality, delete some functionality, modify some functionality and some changes that is not impacted the existing one. So checked we check existing test case and new bug fixes, that comes under regression. High priority defect fix in recent build, so test for integration with external system, core feature of the application, test case module impacted, code changes. Approach: use a risk-based strategy to focus on critical workflow, maintain a regression suite and update its the feature involved, automate respective regression test case and save time. How do you handle incomplete and requirement? Clear with stakeholder, refer with similar feature, document assumptions, create risk plan and communicate effectively. So collaborate with business analyst, product owner or client to get clarify. Refer a similar feature, use knowledge for similar module or past project as a reference. Document assumption, clear outline assumption about expected behavior and share the for the approvals. Create risk-based plan, focus on critical functionalities and perform exploratory testing for unclear areas. Communicate effectively, keep stakeholder informed about the challenges and testing strategy. What is the difference between regression testing and retesting? Regression I already explained. Retesting verified that a specific defect is fixed, focus on failed test cases, perform in same environment with the same inputs. So if you are logging that environment bug having repro in and write 14, so you should check in same device that bug is fixed or not. That bug is independent area that is not impacted existing one, so we verified that bug and mark as verify and close that bug if bug fixes. Regression testing already explained. Regression testing confirm defects, fixes. Usability testing and what aspect do you check? Usability testing is your menu, so there is a hamburger menu or something, so link and button are easily to find, to use content clearly, verify labels, error message and instruction are clear, uniformal in font style, color and layout, accessibility, ensure that application is enabled usable to definitely able user. So usability under like for blind people or some people are there, so they will like easily accessible through tabbing or through like navigation, screen reader are there, so talkback are there, keyboard navigation are there, so they will use. So that's concerned is usability, like how the application is user friendly, how the user is able to accessible that application and the functionality. So that's comes under this one, performance, validate, response, and for the user action. So question number 15, how do we test payment gateway? So payment gateway, we should test functional testing, security testing, boundary value analysis, integration testing, review team, and performance testing. Question number 16, what is exploitative testing and how do you approach it? So exploitative testing, an unscripted approach to uncover hidden defect exploiting the application. Approaches are defined charter or focus area. Example, test login functionality or user profile star with the basic functionality and then explore edge cases. Test node or any unusual or unexpected behavior. Prioritize area with high complexity or recent changes. Use tool example session recording to document findings. So I will cover up 16 questions are there in this video. Like this video, share with your friend and subscribe this channel. Such type of content you can subscribe this channel and join Telegram for job update and manual testing notes or all the things you will get in Telegram. So you can join Telegram, so you will get manual testing material, all the things, CV, project and all you will get.